ערב טוב, מה שלומכם? אנחנו כאן בשידור חי לגבי איך להצליח עם כל עסק, כל מיזם, איך לקחת מעולם היזמות ולמקם את זה בנקסט לבל. ואיתי היום בשידור מארק ספטון, שלמעשה מצטרף אלינו הישר מאנגליה, והולך לדבר איתנו על מה צריך לעשות כדי שעסק, מיזם יצליח. אז תוך כדי שאנשים מצטרפים, אם אתם יכולים רק לומר לנו שאתם שומעים אותנו, רואים אותנו, תעשו לנו ככה לייקים, תגיבו כדי שנדע שהכל קשורה. So in the meantime, good evening, Mark, how are you?
I'm great. You know what? I was so interested in hearing you speak. Yeah.
There is something wrong with the sound. Can you speak again?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Okay, something is wrong with the sound, a little bit noise, I don't know, when you're speaking. So
What was it doing?
strange noises.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, now
How
it's
about
it's okay.
I was going to say,
Yes.
when you did that intro, it was a little bit like I felt like I was on Eurovision. And, you know, when they speak in their language and they say Great Britain has 3 points. It was a little like that. It was quite kind of surreal, but great to be with you, Sharon.
Great to be with you, Mark. I know that we've been speaking for a while and we were planning this live, and, you know, time flies fast. So I'm really excited to host you tonight. And
Thank
we're
you.
going to talk about entrepreneurship. I know that you're really into it. We're going to hear about your story and how did you come to do what you're doing today. So with no further ado, please start and let us know, how did it all begin and how did you come across entrepreneurship in your life? How did it all start?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think everybody's got a story to tell. And I guess my kind of journey into entrepreneurship was probably birthed out of challenge, you know, on a personal level. Came from a broken family. My parents divorced when I was 8 and found life really difficult. But one of the things that they've identified in the heart of any entrepreneur is typically they come from a problematic childhood, you know. And so what happens is when you have problems as a child, you start to be able to problem solve. And at the heartbeat of any entrepreneur is the ability to problem solve. Because fundamentally, that's what business is, to be able to solve a problem. You know, so for me, even though that was a difficult and challenging experience, you know, actually out of bad came good because it enabled me to be able to think on my feet. And it kind of reminds me of the fact that just last week, I was going to a football soccer game with my daughter. And as I was walking towards the turnstiles, the steward said, "You can't go in with an umbrella." And the umbrella, obviously, because it's got a sharp end. And I was like, well, what do I do? And they said, well, you have to try and hide it somewhere. And hopefully when you come back, you know, after the game, it'll still be there. So I had a look around and I saw this traffic cone which was just parked up on the side of the curb. And I thought, that's going to fit. If I can put that right into the center, literally the handle is only going to be, you know, showing a few inches. And sure enough, like, it's incredible how you thought, but it's literally, you know, having the ability to solve a small problem or a big one. And I think, you know, for people in business, if they really want to make a lot of money, then really the key is to go solve a problem that affects 1 million people. But most people have a business that solves a problem for a few hundred, and therefore you know how scalable the business will be because it's only suitable for a few hundred people. But if you find a product or a service that's going to solve a problem, you know, to 1,000 or 1 million people, then you know it's scalable. So coming from a problematic, you know, childhood, parents divorced, my grandparents, very entrepreneurial, dealt with, you know, a whole array of businesses from insurance to jewelry to property, you know, so really were serial entrepreneurs. It seemed to jump over my mum and dad, who both had, you know, regular jobs. My dad worked at the local university. My mum's always been like a secretary or kind of PA. but my grandparents very entrepreneurial, and it was when I was 10 years old that I started to work with my granddad and deliver fruit and vegetables to local restaurant, pubs and hotels. And that really opened up my eyes to the realm of business. You know, we were solving a problem, which was the fact that local and hotels to be able to serve that. And so we sourced, you know, vegetables locally to be able to provide a service for them, a real simple yet effective way of doing business. And I guess, you know, it wasn't until I guess I became an adult that I really reflected on the way my granddad was. So while he was one of my greatest teachers, you know, he never taught me by what he said. He taught me by how he lived. And through my ability to observe, I was able to pick and see some real key denominators as to how and what makes a successful business. And I believe one of the biggest weapons we have in business is our reputation, and we must do all we can to make sure that our reputation, you know, stays, you know, strong, especially in business, because it takes years, you know, to build it, and seconds to destroy. Mindful of our reputation, you know, as we move into business. I guess, you know, for me, one of the topics I take on in my book Inside Job is, are entrepreneurs born or made? You know, and you can discuss different ideas, and the concept that I had with entrepreneurship is the metamorphosis from a caterpillar to a butterfly. In order for that chrysalis to form, it has to have the right conditions in order to be able to crystallize. And I think with entrepreneurship, I believe that the entrepreneurial spirit is within every man and woman, but until it's exposed to the right condition and the right environment, it's not able to metamorphose itself from, you know, a caterpillar into a butterfly. You know, and we all have been born into the industrial revolution, where we go from, you know, school, college, university into a business, and how entrepreneurship is really about creating your own economy and your own way of doing business. And I think having the right conditions enables you to birth that. So I guess that's a little bit of my story and how it kind of started for me.
So with your permission, a little pause for a quick translation. So, אז חברים, שאלתי את מארק, מה למעשה, היות והוא ככה מוביל יזמים ומתעסק עם יזמות, יש לו גם תוכנית טלוויזיה וגם תוכנית רדיו באנגליה, שעוסקת בתחום הזה, ושאלתי אותו, מה למעשה, איך הדרך שלו התחילה, איך המסע שלו התחיל ואיך הוא הכיר את היזמות. אז הוא מדבר על זה שהייתה לו ילדות לא פשוטה, להורים גרושים, הוא בילה הרבה זמן עם הסבא שלו, להגיע לפתרונות יצירתיים, והם עברו ממסעדה למסעדה כדי למכור כל מיני ככה פתרונות כאלו ואחרים, ועם ההסתגלות הזו כדי באמת ליצור איזשהו שפע כלכלי, הוא נחשף לכל מיני רעיונות כאלה ואחרים עוד בהיותו ילד, והוא מדבר על ההשוואה המאוד יפה הזו בין גולם לפרפר. הוא מדבר על זה שלכל אדם, לכל גבר, אישה, יש את כל מה שאנחנו זקוקים לו כדי להפוך ליזמים. וכמו גולם לפרפר, זה בעצם נדרש את התנאי הבשלה, וכמובן שיהיה לנו את כל הכלים כדי לפתח את החשיבה הזו, לחשוב יצירתי, ולעשות את זה בצורה שהיא טובה, וכמובן נדרשים התנאים הנכונים לזה. I was just, telling really quick what you were saying in a nutshell. So I'm going to move on to the next question. I'm just going to let the audience know that you are actually giving them a gift to the people that are joining us to the live. I'm going to say something really quick about that with your permission, okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you want to, before that, say something about your book, because it's 18 pages from your book about entrepreneurship and what it's about. So before I'm letting them know what they're receiving just by joining us live, maybe say something about that.
Yeah, I think every time you translate, I'm like, I'm glad I trust you, Sharon, because you could say absolutely anything you wanted. Then I know I wouldn't have a clue. In terms of the books, I have two books. I have my latest one, which is Plot Twist, and then the one that we're giving a sample away to is Inside Job. Now, Inside Job really is about you're only as good as the thoughts you think. That it's about how to connect your head with your heart, because there's often a disconnect in the hearts of many of us. We have a feeling in our heart or in our soul of something we want to do, but our mind isn't able to interpret it, and so sometimes there's a conflict. Really, it's a challenge that if we want to change our outward experience, we've got to change our inward dialogue. It's a nice blend of true storytelling and holistic approach alongside some real practical, actionable information that can really help you move forward in your life.
Wow, I love it. So a quick translation, with your permission. יש בעצם מתנה שמרק נענה לבקשתי כדי לתת למי שנמצא איתנו בשידור החי. הוא כתב 2 ספרים, הספר הראשון שלו בעצם מדבר על עבודה פנימית ועל המקום של איך אנחנו יכולים להביא את ההבעה שלנו ואת דרך התנהלות שלנו מבפנים החוצה, והחיבור בין הלב לראש. ובכל ההתנהלות הזו יש בעצם קשר מאוד מאוד ישיר, גם ליזמות וגם להצלחה בכלל, והוא מדבר על העקרונות האלה, ולמעשה הוא הסכים לתת למי שנמצא איתנו בשידור, 18 דפים ראשונים מתוך הספר הזה, כדי שתוכלו לקבל כבר כלים שתוכלו לעבוד איתם. אז מי שמעוניין לקבל את ה-18 דפים הללו, את החלק הראשון של הספר שלו, פשוט תרשמו גם אני, ונשלח לכם את זה ישירות במסנג'ר, ומשם נוכל להמשיך. אז גם אני בתגובות יזכה אתכם בחלק הראשון בספרו של מארק, על טיפים מהעולמו הפנימי וההתנסות שלו. הוא מרצה אגב ברחבי העולם, לגבי איך אתם יכולים לעשות את זה גם כבר עכשיו. אז גם אני בתגובות, ואנחנו ממשיכים. So, we're going to move on to the next question, which is actually something that you talk a lot about entrepreneurship around the world. You are on stages and you give a lot of advice to entrepreneurs that want to succeed with their business, with their idea. What would be the top 3, let's say, tips that you have in order to give our listeners, let's say, a glimpse? What do they need to do in order to succeed with their project, business, entrepreneurship? What would it be in your eyes?
Well, without repeating myself, but I think it definitely would be in my top 3. You've got to ask yourself the question, what problem do I solve? And the bigger the problem you solve, the more impact that you're going to make, not just in a financial sense, but also in the sense of having a real impact on the world. We need people with power and with knowledge to actually start using it in the right way. We need to see influence equipping people. We need to see more kindness. We need to see more humanity in the way that we educate and express ourselves. So for me, it has to start with what problem you solve. I think the second one is very much to do with the fact that too many businesses or people, they focus their energies on themselves. So people tend to think their business is about them. And there's nothing wrong with expressing your heart and your personality into your brand, because that's something that we all need to have, that trust and have that authenticity in order to be able to really connect. But too often we are too in awe of our own achievements, of our own things that we like, and sometimes it's to the detriment of actually what our customer and client really needs and wants. So that would definitely be number 2. I think the third one for me is we've got to start giving our customers and clients what they want, because I think too often we push our own agenda onto our clients and customers. And I think once you give your customer or client what they want, then you can educate them with what they need. So you might have like 5 products. You may have 5 products and you really want to sell them the top end product because that's where your profit margin is. But I think, if they want, the cheapest product first, then you've got to give them that. And then you educate them once you've built that trust and reveal to them what it is that they really need.
I love it. מה שמארק אומר, שאלתי אותו לגבי 3 דברים, מה הטופ 3 שלו, 3 הטיפים המרכזיים לכל יזם שרוצה לקחת את המיזם לרמה הבאה, את העסק לרמה הבאה. Do you hear a little echo, Mark?
I do not.
Or is it just me? אוקיי, אם אתם שומעים קצת אקו, רק תגידו לנו כדי שנדע איך לנווט כאן את המערכת של הסאונד. אז מה שהוא אומר למעשה זה קודם כל לחשוב על מה כיצד הדבר שאתם מציעים יכול לתת מענה לאנשים שאתם רוצים לשרת אותם, לקהל היעד שלכם, ולמעשה לחשוב בפריסה שהיא מאוד מאוד גדולה, לא רק ל2-3 אנשים, אלא למסות גדולות של אנשים, מה הצמתים המרכזיים שבהם תוכלו לפתור להם בעיה, צורך לתת מענה, על מנת לראות איך הדבר הזה בא לידי ביטוי. דבר נוסף שבעצם הוא מדבר עליו, אל תיתנו ללקוחות מה שאתם רוצים, או בעלי עסקים או יזמים שהוא נתקל בהם שמאוד מאוד מרוכזים במה הם רוצים לתת ללקוח, או מה הם רוצים למכור, או מה הם רוצים להציע. לא להיות מרוכזים בעצמכם, אלא להיות מרוכזים לגמרי בלקוח וללכת איתו, כדי להעניק לו את מה שהוא צריך ורוצה. והדבר השלישי, תקשיבו ללקוח. אם הוא רוצה להתחיל מהמוצר, נניח ויש לכם 5 מוצרים, אז אם הוא רוצה להתחיל מהמוצר היותר זול, תלכו איתו באמת ותהיו קשובים לגבי מה חשוב לו לקבל מכם, ואז תוכלו ליצור איזשהו תיעול בתהליך, ולתת לו באמת את הדברים הנוספים, כמובן בהתאם לצרכים. I'm trying to make it really quick. So, we're going to move on to the next question. אגב, חברים, אם יש לכם שאלות למארק, זה הזמן להעלות את השאלות הללו, ואנחנו נשאל אותו בשידור חי, הנושא יזמות, ואיך להצליח עם כל רעיון שלכם. So the next question, what was it for you that made the breakthrough once you started, and what made you, what was the main thing that, we all get some kind of insight or a big wow moment? What was it for you personally?
It's interesting because I always say that we should invest in the areas where we're naturally gifted and have influence, because I think too often we try to be something we're not. I really believe in backing, your own strengths and really understanding who you are. I only ever do what I'm good at and what excites me, and I kind of stay well away from everything else. I think, for me, the one thing that sparked was when I came across a woman called Danny Johnson on a TV show, and she's from California, and I was listening to her about, I reckon it was probably 8 or 9 years ago. And I was like, who is this woman? Because everything she was saying was kind of like really new to me and fresh. And I guess some of what she was saying now we hear all the time, from so many different people. But at that time it was something new and fresh. And I was like, this woman is making a lot of sense. And she left me curious. And the only thing that was disappointing me about the whole show was the fact that she lived in California, and I'm in the UK. And at the end of her broadcast, she said, actually, me and my husband are going to be coming to London, UK for the first time in August. And I was like, dude, I've got to be there. Sometimes where you just are like, yeah, that's a lot of money, but it's like I can't, afford not to be there, rather than saying, I can't afford to be there. It was kind of one of those where I just thought, what, I've got to go. And sometimes when you have those moments, I kind of joke and say, you've got to follow your gut. That's why I have a big one. I think it's really important that we trust our own intuition. You enjoyed that too much, Sharon. You got to enjoy your own and follow your own intuition. And I went and saw Danny in London. And I remember I went down to London, I think the night before, and I got in line. I think I was queuing from 5 a.m. and I was the first one, because I'd read that you take in, I think, something like 35% more being on the first 3 rows than you do.
That is correct.
You know, and I was like, you know, and I'm hungry. I was like hungry to learn. You know, something about her just really resonated. And I was like, you know, I've got to be there. And it was quite funny, really, because I was speaking to some of her team before they opened the doors of the conference. And I was saying, yeah, I've been here since 5 a.m. So people actually start queuing 24 hours before the event. And here's me thinking I'm all a big shot because I'm there at 5 a.m. And went in there, and there was a number of things that really stood out. The first thing, which we hear all the time now, which is the greatest place you can invest is in yourself. But at that moment, it really kind of just hit the nail on the head. The second thing was, if you increase your value, and you do that by increasing your skill set, then the marketplace will pay more for you. So the interesting thing for me at that point I was working in hospitality, and I kind of reached the ceiling of how much I could earn. And it was just like a light bulb moment that said to me, Mark, if you want to earn more, then the skill that you have has to be more desirable and require a bigger ticket, financial ticket, that people will pay for that skill, because your skill is currently at this level and you will earn this much. But if I want to earn more than that, then I've got to be able to bring something to market that demands and requires, you know, a more financial, lucrative, you know, payment. And so that's when, for me, I had to really look at what I was naturally gifted with, what were things in my life that I'd already had success with, you know, and that's kind of how it all started and the trigger point for me.
Wow. So we'll have a short pause here for the translation, of course. שאלתי את מרק מה מבחינתו היה הרגע וואו שלו, רגע שגרם לו להתחיל בדרך, ומה שהוא אמר מאוד מאוד מעניין. What was the name of the lady that you saw on TV again?
Danny Johnson.
Donnie Johnson?
D-A-N-I.
Danny Johnson. אוקיי, אז הוא ראה מישהי שבעצם עוררה השראה מאוד מאוד גדולה עבורו בטלוויזיה, והוא בעצם אמר לעצמו, וואו, מה שהיא אומרת עושה הרבה מאוד common sense, רק חבל שהיא גרה בקליפורניה ואני בלונדון, ואני באנגליה, הוא לא גר בלונדון אלא בעיר ליד, ואז בעצם היא בישרה על זה שהיא מגיעה ללונדון, ואז הוא אמר, אני לא יכול להרשות לעצמי לפספס את הדבר הזה. ומאותו מקום, למרות שזה היה מאוד מאוד יקר, הוא קנה כרטיס, הגיע לשם ראשון, ישב בשורות הראשונות, כי הוא קרא איזשהו מחקר, אגב זה נכון שככל שיושבים יותר קרוב באבנט כזה או אחר, אז אחוזי הקליטה של הדברים הרבה יותר טוב, ואז מתוך המקום הזה הוא למד ואמר לעצמו את הדברים הבאים. הדבר הראשון היה, כדי באמת לבוא ולתת ערך, אני צריך להיות באמת במקום שאני קודם כל משקיע בעצמי. חברים, כדי להגיע למקסימום ערך שאתם נותנים במיזם שלכם, בעסק שלכם, בקריירה שלכם, זה להשקיע במשאב הטוב ביותר שלכם. יש איזשהו משפט שבא ואומר, גם אם תשקיעו המון בעבודה, עדיין לא תצליחו לנפץ את תקרת הזכוכית. מתי אתם מצליחים לנפץ אותה? ברגע שאתם עובדים על המשאב הכי יקר, שזה אתם עצמכם. אז להשקיע, אז זה באמת התובנה הראשונה שהייתה לו. התובנה השנייה הייתה שהוא צריך לתת הרבה מאוד ערך לאנשים, לקהל שמגיע לשמוע אותו, על מנת לתת להם את מה שהם זקוקים בצורה הטובה ביותר. וברגע שהערך עולה ומציעים את זה בצורה שהיא טובה ללקוחות שזקוקים לזה, אז מתבצעת פריצת הדרך, זאת אומרת לתת באמת הרבה מאוד ערך. So you were thinking, I was saying to them that what you thought, you know, at first, and actually it happened to me as well, when I first started, I invested everything that I didn't have in order to go to one of the events that I'll tell you a little bit about that later, but it all started to me the same way. And you say that the first thing that you understood is actually that you need to work on yourself, and the second thing is that you need to bring high value to people for them to actually pay you for your services and actually give that to them. What was, and that's where we stopped. So please continue.
Yeah, so I think, it took me on a bit of a journey. I was working in hospitality, so I had been in management for about 11 years because I left school at 15 with my qualifications. That was a normal kind of thing to do in the UK. I know everybody has a different schooling system. And most people, when I say I left school at 15, they think I dropped out, which I didn't. I got my qualifications. I had the opportunity to go to college or uni, but I've always learned by doing. I'm a doer. Don't just tell me, show me and let me figure it out. And so, for me, looking at the skills of hospitality, which I think is one of the most thankless industries you can be in, because it's all about servanthood. It's all about you serving, providing a service to people that actually in some cases don't treat you well. So it's always an interesting, ground for you to learn about humanity and human behavior, because I think, there is that level of humility of where you've got to have an eye for detail. You've got to be thinking on your feet. You've got to create a theater. You've got to create a memory. It's got to be positive. But I think some of those concepts have really helped, in terms of my own business now. And so what I did is I looked at some of the key successes I was having in those businesses. I was seeing that I could drive revenue, I could improve spend per head, I could create an environment, I could get the best out of people, I could create a culture that really enabled people to breathe and to express themselves. I had an eye for detail, really good at recruitment, seeing where people had a skill set which would serve the vision of that restaurant, pub or hotel in a way that really became something dynamic and people would really resonate with. And so for me, it took me on a journey of doing a diploma in life coaching, leadership and business consultancy. And so when I first branched out into the world of entrepreneurship, I branched out as an independent restaurant, pub and hotel advisor. And so I would go around to the local restaurant, pubs and hotels and really articulate my own experience through my new passion of really wanting to get the best out of people, to create a framework which drew from my experience, but also gave me the appetite to express more of that self-leadership and that impact, because, business is made up of people. We've got to be able to articulate how we feel and think in a way that really connects, with our customer and client. And that's really how it all unfolded for me. And I think, even today, I think I put out on my Instagram the importance of continuing to evolve, and we've seen so many businesses go out of business because they didn't evolve. And I think for me, when I was a hospitality consultant, it was right bang when the recession was. Lots of people wanted to sell their business. I had a degree of success, but typically I had to pivot from that to working specifically with those that had their own business. And I think you've got to continually, evolve. Otherwise you get left behind, you become stale, you become out of touch. And I think you've got to constantly evolve. And going back to my point earlier, you've got to continue to give people what they want.
Mm-hmm. So מה שבעצם מארק מציין זה שכדי להגיע למצב שעסק או מיזם יצליח, אחד הדברים שחשוב להקפיד עליהם, ואני מתחילה מהסוף להתחלה, מסוף הדברים למה שהוא אמר ככה לפני, זה בעצם להקפיד על לתת לאנשים את מה שהם רוצים, מה שהם צריכים. וזה כל הזמן להיות בהקשבה אליהם. Sorry, Mark. Yeah. Winter time, So anyway, מה שבעצם הוא סיפר, שתחילת הדרך שלו התחילה בעצם בזה שהוא הבין שהוא מספק שירותים ללקוחות שלו. גם אם יש לקוחות שלא מתנהגים בצורה הכי אדיבה והכי טובה, זה בעצם לתרגל את השריר הזה של להיות ספק שירותים, לבוא ולתת מענה על הצרכים שלהם, ולהיות אדיב ולתרגל את זה שוב ושוב ושוב, וכל הזמן לראות מה הדבר הזה שלא הם זקוקים ואותו הם צריכים, ולתרגל את זה. אז כך הוא התחיל בעצם את הדרך שלו, הוא למד הרבה מאוד ככה תחומים כמו מנהיגות ואותם סמינרים שאליהם הוא הלך, ועם הזמן הדבר הזה בעצם התפתח למיומנות מאוד חזקה, כי ברגע שיש חזרתיות ואנחנו חוזרים על משהו שוב ושוב, אנחנו הופכים למומחים בתחום הזה, וזה בעצם חלק מהמסע שהוא עבר. So I was telling about the beginning of your journey that you were proposing. You realize that you need to meet their needs and you need to give them what they want in spite of, you know, how they treat you or, you know. But I know that we can talk a lot and we don't have a lot of time left. So I want to keep it really sharp and to give the most value to the people that have joined us. So I'm going to give a quick reminder that they can receive part of your book as a gift from you. אז חברים, אם אתם רוצים לקבל חלק ראשון מהספר של מארק עם התובנות לגבי איך אפשר מבפנים החוצה להתנהל בצורה אופטימלית ולגרום לכל מיזם או פרויקט שלכם לעבוד, רשמו גם אני בתגובות, וזה ישירות בדרך אליכם. ואם יש לכם שאלות, זה הזמן אגב, אנחנו עוד מעט מסיימים עם מארק, אז אם יש לכם שאלות, בבקשה מוזמנים לעשות ממש ככה עכשיו בשידור חי, כדי שנוכל לתת לכם את המענה בשידור חי. So I know that people, if they'll have questions, of course, after the live, so I'll make sure I'll transfer that to you and we can give that to them afterwards as well. So I know that you are really passionate about what you're doing, and you have a new book that you wrote that gives a lot of, insights and inputs. And, if I ask you what is the most favorite part of the book that gives the most value of the new book, what would it be?
Well, that's like asking me to pick my favorite child. That is, Sharon. I would probably say one of the chapters that I really love, because it was just so innocent and refreshing, was probably the chapter called "Find Your David," which was a true. It's called "Find Your David." Yeah, okay. It's a true story. Which in my books, I love to write stories that have a metaphor or a lesson within them, because it's written. And the thing that I loved about this chapter is because we live, in the world of social media, and we make great connections if you do it right, with people that you've never met before. There's always that nice kind of rapport when you actually connect with someone in the old-fashioned way, where you actually bump into someone and actually become, friends or have a connection. And I was in Austin, Texas, and I was about to go and speak to Hanger, which they're a company that create the largest amount of prosthetic limbs in the world. So if you've seen the film Dolphin Tale, they created the fin for the dolphin. And I ran into this coffee shop called Two Hands Coffee, and I needed to put some juice into my Mac because it was on a low battery. And this place was absolutely swamped. There were so many people there. I looked around, and I was like, I'm really struggling to find a space, and I really need an electric, outlet to be able to charge my Mac. And then I saw a guy who was kind of sat on one chair, but he had two tables that he had loads of flyers all over. And it was clear to me that he was really engrossed. He hadn't really seen how busy it was. But I thought I would go over there and say, "Sir, is it possible that I can, sit down and plug in, my Mac, because I need some juice in order to be able to do this presentation at Hanger." And we got chatting, and he was in the area because he was the area manager of a new food concept that they were bringing to Austin. And so he had all his flyers, all his brochures, all over the tables, and he kind of started to clear them away and tidy them up and said, "Sorry, I didn't realize how busy it was." And I said, "It's fine." And he was like, "What are you doing in Austin?" So I said, "Well, I'm speaking during South by Southwest. I've got my own event as well. I'm doing a talk at Hangar, you know, and just absolutely loving Austin. And he was like, wow, I love what you're doing. And he said to me, tell me about your event. So I shared about my event, and he was like, is it on Eventbrite? And I said, yes. And he said, well, I'm going to book me and my wife onto your event right now. And he pulled out his phone and he booked on to the event. And for about an hour, we just conversed like we were best friends. You know, we talked about life, we talked about business, we talked about travel, we talked about culture. And it became apparent that there's Davids all around us in life. But sometimes we become so busy and so absorbed that we can miss the people that are in front of us. And while I have some beautiful connections with people that I have through social media, you know, just like, you know, this one with yourself. So while I'm grateful for that, I think sometimes we're in danger of losing some of those more innocent, traditional human ways. And so the whole premise of Find Your David is me sharing about the importance of keeping your head up, about engaging, you know, with human beings, you know, not losing, you know, that personal touch, you know. And I think stories like that do have an impact on life. They do have an impact in business. We've got to make sure that we're present, you know, with those around us.
I love it. And actually, there are Davids all around us, I assure you. A quick translation on that. שאלתי אותו בספר החדש שהוא כתב, מה החלק הטוב ביותר בעיניו בספר, ואיזה תובנה הוא יכול לזקק ממנה עבורנו, ומה שהוא ככה מספר זה, find your David, זה תמצא את הדוד שלך, או את דוד, השאלה איך אתם מעדיפים, והכוונה בלמצוא את הדוד שלך, או את דוד, יש לנו ככה מלרע או מלאל, המשמעות היא בעצם, הוא מספר על מקום הומי אדם שהוא הגיע לפני כנס מאוד גדול שלו, והוא היה עם המק, עם המחשב שלו, אבל הוא היה חייב להטעין, היות ולא הייתה לו בטריה, הוא נכנס לאחד מבתי הקפה השוקקים ביותר, וביקש מבעל בית הקפה רשות להטעין את הלפטופ שלו לפני המצגת, ואז נוצרה ביניהם שיחה מאוד מאוד ככה מעניינת, ובמהלך השיחה הוא שאל אותו מה הוא עושה, והוא סיפר לו, ואונליין, תוך כדי שהם מדברים, אותו הבעלים של בית הקפה אמר לו, תקשיב, אני הולך עכשיו לרכוש זוג כרטיסים לסמינר שלך, לי ולאשתי נשמע לי פשוט מרתק ומעניין, והם דיברו כאילו הם החברים הכי טובים, והייתה שם פשוט מה שנקרא אינטראקציה מאוד מאוד חמה ומפרגנת, ומה שהוא בעצם רשם בספר שלו, וזה באמת אחת התובנות החזקות, מסביבנו יש הרבה דוידים כאלה, ופשוט צריך לאתר אותם, צריך לראות איך אנחנו כל הזמן לא מאבדים את המגע ואת האינטראקציה האישית, בכל מקום שאתם הולכים, אם יש לכם מיזם, אם יש לכם עסק, אם יש לכם פרויקט שהוא ככה בנשמתכם, בכל אינטראקציה שאתם מקיימים, גם אם זה מחוץ לשעות העבודה, יצאתם החוצה, הלכתם למסעדה, יצאתם לבית קפה, נפגשתם עם אנשים, לדבר על זה, לעורר אינטראקציה, לעורר עניין, אתם לא יודעים מאיפה הדבר הבא יגיע, וזה משהו שחשוב להקפיד עליו, ולא לאבד את הצלם אנוש באמת בגובה העיניים, לדבר עם האנשים ממקום אותנטי, ולתת כמובן ערך, והנה איזשהו משהו מקרי מבית הקפה, הוליד משהו מאוד נחמד, וכמובן יכול להגיע לאסקלציות הרבה יותר גדולות ורחבות. So after this David chapter, I know that you have 2 books, and I would love you to share them with our listeners. So if you can type a link or something that can connect us to that would be great. If you want me to do it, I can do it as well. יש אגב למארק 2 ספרים שהוא ישמח לשתף אותנו, אני אשים אחר כך את הקישור שלהם כדי שתוכלו לראות באמזון על מה מדובר, וזה נותן הרבה מאוד רעיונות לגבי הפן היזמי, איך להצליח עם פרויקטים ולהניע אותם קדימה. Time flies fast with you, Mark.
Yeah, it does, you know. I guess, you know, I enjoyed chatting, and passionate about entrepreneurship and business, and it's quite easy just to, you know, just go for it and lose yourself in the things that you love.
Most definitely. I know that, we can go on and on about ideas, and innovation is something that is actually building itself more and more, especially nowadays. And we know that a lot of new ideas are coming up every other day. Did you find something that intrigued you the most with entrepreneurship, or clients that you've been working with? Was there anything specific that touched you or moved you in a way?
Yeah, I mean, there's been times when, I've worked with a client and, for me, I don't just focus on the business because, it's only a portion of what we do. But if you can develop an individual, then the natural byproduct of that will be a change and improved business. And, there's been clients that I've worked with that I've seen significant growth and paradigm shifts in so many fundamentals of what makes a person, a human being. For me, when I started to see the impact on their health and on their family and on their relationship with their children, and their mindset and their business, I would love to say that every client I work with sees this kind of miraculous shift. For some people that I work with, it literally is a 1 or 2% shift in the right direction, which is sometimes all you need in order to really move forward. But this one occasion when the client was so invigorated and ran with what I gave them, it was a beautiful mosaic of different impacts that really just blew me away, in terms of, their own development and the way that they saw the world and how it impacted on their business and made it the most profitable, month, in their whole 3-year history of their business. It was a beautiful thing, to witness.
Mm-hmm. שאלתי את מארק מה הדבר שבאמת ריגש אותו בצורה העמוקה ביותר, החזקה ביותר, ברגע שהם מדברים באמת על לקחת מיזם כזה או אחר, או עם עסקים שהוא ליווה, והוא מדבר על בעיקר כשהוא מלווה לקוחות, או אני יכולה לראות את זה גם כשאני עובדת עם קהל הלקוחות שלי, הנושא של הכי חזק זה באמת השינוי פרדיגמות, השינוי של תבניות המחשבה, של מה שבעצם מביא אנשים לגרום להם פתאום להכניס הכנסה גבוהה יותר ממה שהם חלמו או קיוו, או פתאום אותו שינוי פרדיגמטי, אותו שינוי מחשבתי, אותו דפוס שבעצם מאוד, מאוד יכול לקבע אותנו ולהוריד אותנו. ברגע שזה משתנה, אנחנו יכולים לראות שינוי מאוד מאוד חזק בכל ההיבטים האחרים, וזה משפיע על חיי המשפחה, זה משפיע על הזוגיות, זה משפיע על התפיסה שלנו, על הביטחון שלנו, על כל המעגל הזה, וזה הדבר מבחינת השינוי הזה של מה שהכי ריגש את מארק בהיבט הזה. So I would like to say thank you so much for your time, and I'm going to put the link for your books, after we're saying bye, and people can connect and get a good look at what you wrote. אז מי שרוצה באמת לראות לפני זה הצצה לאחד הספרים של מארק, מוזמן לרשום, גם אני נעביר לכם את זה, ואני רוצה לומר לכם המון המון תודה. אם אנחנו ננסה לסכם, I'm going to make a short recap, so let's just give the main dots of our conversation or what we talked about in order to succeed in a project as an entrepreneur. What are the most important skills that you need to have?
Yeah, so it was obviously, solve a problem. The second one was to make sure that your business isn't just about you, but to, give people what they want and then educate them with what they need. And I think
we're going to pause. הדבר הראשון, חברים, לזכור שזה לא אתם, זה לא לגביכם, להיות ממוקדים בלקוחות שלכם ובמה שהם צריכים, וכל הזמן לחשוב באופן של איך אתם יכולים לתת מענה ולפתור בעיות עבור קהל היעד שלכם. Please go on.
Yeah, and then the third one, it was a kind of similar to number 2. In fact, I need you to help me with this one, Sharon, because I've gone completely blank on number 3.
Don't worry about it. I remember it.
Go on, then you share it.
What?
I was like, you go ahead, you share it. Huh? You're my wingman. You're my wingman.
Yeah, I'm your wind woman. יש איזשהו, אז אמרנו שאחד הדברים שצריך לעשות זה באמת להיות ממוקדים בבעיה. איך אתם פותרים בעיות ללקוחות שלכם? הדבר השני זה לדאוג לגבי זה שהעסק הוא לא לגביכם, לא לתת את המוקד לגבי מה שחשוב לכם למכור, מה שחשוב לכם לתת, מה שחשוב לכם לקדם, אלא מיקוד טוטלי בלקוח. מה הוא צריך, מה הדבר שיכול לעזור לו, מה יכול לפתור לו את הבעיות, איך הוא יכול לישון טוב יותר בלילה, ואיך אתם יכולים לתת לו את המענה הזה. הדבר השלישי, היה בעצם כל הזמן לדאוג לערך משמעותי, וברגע שאתם תשקיעו בעצמכם, זה יהיה הדבר שבעצם יקפיץ אתכם לשלב הבא. I was saying that you need to invest in you first, before you work on your business or everything else, because this is the let's say the key point in order to grow. And I think that that's about it, because we were saying a lot of things that related, let's say, in the same context, but this is actually the main 3. Think of the problem, what you're solving, think of the client, make sure that it's not about you, make sure that you're giving them what they need and you listen to their needs, and actually give them the feeling that they are the most important. You were saying that you were practicing a lot about you giving them the services and, you know, serving them. דבר נוסף שבאמת הוא אמר זה איך אנחנו יכולים לתת את השירותים, לתרגל את היותנו נותני שירותים ללקוחות בשורה התחתונה. So I think we try to, you know, recap and squeeze it all in, and I think we've done it wonderfully. So thank you so much, Mark.
Can I share one last thing, Sharon?
Yes, please do.
Just because I think that when you do a call, when you do a podcast, when I'm on stage, when I'm writing a book, I always like to speak from the heart. And if there's something that I feel in relation to the audience, I feel it's always important to share. And so, you know, for me, I like to stay in tune with what I'm feeling and sensing. I guess one of the things that I kind of want to just mention, you know, and we can end with this, is all around time. Because for me, when I give my time to something, I'm actually giving my life to something. And it's the same for you, and it's the same for everybody that's listening. You know, that we could decide to spend the hour we've just had doing anything, you know, from watching a movie to doing sport, to going to the gym, to picking up the phone, speaking to your mother or father, or to come and listen to Mark and Sharon, you know, do this talk. You know, and I think we need to be more responsible, not only with our own time, but also with the time of others. It kind of is two-way, because for me, I need people to respect my life and my time, and equally, I need to respect the life and the time of others. So it's almost like it's got to be a challenge to all of us. We've got to be mindful of the fact that we must not waste people's time and waste people's life. And equally, we must be sensitive enough to the fact that the things that we do give our time to are actually what we're giving, you know, our life to. And I think that's so important in life and in business, that we're responsible for what we give, the investment that we give into ourselves, but also what we demand and expect of other people.
Beautiful. דבר נוסף שהיה חשוב לו להגיד ככה מהלב, זה שהמשאב החשוב ביותר לכולנו זה בעצם הזמן. וברגע שאנחנו מכבדים את הזמן שלנו ואת הזמן של אחרים, הרי באותה נשימה, כשהחלטנו לעשות את הלייב הזה, כל אחד מאיתנו יכל לעשות דברים אחרים, יכל ללכת לעשות ספורט, ללכת לביקור אצל ההורים, לכתוב מאמר, אבל במקום זה בחרנו להתחבר יחד ולתת ערך לכם. אותו משקל על זה שאתם בחרתם להתכנס ולנצל את הזמן הזה ולשמוע את הוובינר הזה ולקבל תובנות ולראות איך אתם יכולים לשפר באמת את המקום הזה של מיזמים, פרויקטים, דברים שאתם רוצים לייצר ולעשות, ולקבל רעיונות, תובנות ודברים שככה הם לא בראייה הלוקלית אלא בראייה הגלובלית, הישר מלונדון הרחוקה, עם מארק ובאמת עם התובנות שהוא מביא לתוך השיחה הזו, ובחרתם להיות כאן. אז זה כבר מעיד, אגב, שחלק מאוד משמעותי, כשאתם יוצרים איזשהו מיזם, שתכבדו בוודאי את הזמן שלכם, אבל לא פחות חשוב שתכבדו את הזמן של הלקוחות שלכם, של אנשים שאתם איתם באינטראקציה, שתוודאו שהזמן הזה בעצם נותן ערך, נותן value מאוד מאוד גבוה לאותם אנשים, כי הזמן של כולנו הוא מאוד מאוד יקר, וברגע שאנחנו משקיעים אותו, חשוב שנשקיע אותו בחוכמה, וכל הזמן נטפח את המשאב החשוב ביותר שזה אנחנו. ברגע שאתם תשקיעו בכם, העסק שלכם יגדל, ההכנסה שלכם תגדל, מערכות היחסים שלכם ישתפרו, זה משפיע על הכל. I love that. Time is actually so valuable. So again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for this live. And I know that I had a great time. I hope that the people that were with us today had a great time as well. I'm sure that they had. So thank you so much. תודה רבה לכם חברים. אם יש לכם שאלות שתרצו לשאול, אפשר גם בהמשך, אתם מוזמנים לשלוח, ואני אוודא שאתם מקבלים מענה. אני אפרסם את הלינק לספרים. תודה רבה ושיהיה לכם ערב מעולה. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sharon.